This is NDTV, and you're watching NDTV Prime.
Hello and welcome. You're watching Heads Up, India's only show which helps you make important education and career-related decisions. According to a recent report by the US Department of State's Bureau of Education and Cultural Affairs, 1 out of every 6 international students in the US is an Indian, forming the second largest student population in the US after China. This comes at a time when anti-immigrant sentiments are strong in the US and shows that US still remains the top choice for most Indian students who wish to study abroad. A little while ago, we got the chance to speak with President Purdue University and former Governor Indiana, Mr. Mitchell E. Daniels. Thanks for joining us on the show, sir. At the end of your gubernatorial tenure, what made you consider academia as a possible next career?
Really was not my idea at the time. I was approached by the search committee and the trustees of Purdue University. And to be perfectly honest, at first I thought it might not be the right idea. I was planning to go back to business and private life, but they persuaded me to think about it. And eventually I decided that working at Purdue, especially at this point in time, was a tremendous opportunity. One not to be missed, and now 4 years later I'm very, very glad I said yes. It's been a lot of fun. I certainly enjoyed the young people immensely.
The focus of your India trip is to promote innovation and entrepreneurship. Looking at Purdue's record, this year alone 27 startups patented innovations, exceeding the numbers of previous 2 years. Tell us a little bit about what is being done at Purdue to promote entrepreneurship.
Yes, I discovered on arrival that Purdue, one of the great technological universities of the world, was, I thought, made it far too difficult for our faculty or our students to take their discoveries, the products of their research, out into the marketplace. So we've simplified all our systems. We have made it very inventor-friendly. We no longer make it difficult for our faculty. We align with them. We help them patent their discoveries if that's their wish. We have now entrepreneurs who come and help them set up their companies, write their business plans, and so forth. So it's no accident that we led the United States in the number of startup companies. We're 15th in the world now in patents. Purdue is Entrepreneur U, and we're constantly trying to get better.
Now, you're also scheduled to meet business leaders and academics to discuss new joint projects with research institutions and startups. Tell us about the kind of research partnerships you either already have or want to forge with Indian research institutions and startups.
Yes. Well, first of all, a number of the greatest Indian companies are led by Purdue graduates, and we like to come and visit them and let them know how proud we are. Here at LinkedIn, the leader of LinkedIn India is Akshay Kathari, one of our younger graduates. Others lead companies like TVS and Walkhart and Dr. Reddy's Labs. And so we often arrange for some of their finest employees to come and do graduate work, PhD work at Purdue. We ask them if they would host Purdue students on internships, chance for them to see India and learn more about this great country. And we have also have ties with some of this nation's finest research institutions. IIT Madras is one example. So all those, when we come to India, and I've been here now 3 straight years, those are always part of the agenda.
Now, it has been 3 years for you, sir, as the president of Purdue University. And of the many things that you have dealt with during your tenure includes tackling the escalation in cost of education. Could you please tell us a little bit more about that?
Yes, initially I simply suggested a 1-year hiatus or timeout from tuition increases, but we've now been able to extend it. This is the 4th straight year in which tuition has been unchanged, and we've pledged ourselves to at least one more in the year ahead. In addition, we've reduced the cost of room and board and books. So it's actually less expensive to go to Purdue University today than it was 4 years ago. Meanwhile, we're investing in quality all the time. And our goal is to provide, we always say, the highest proven value in higher education. You know, we have more Indian students at Purdue than any other American university. And last night, I was visiting with a number of their parents, and they kept bringing this up, that they chose Purdue because of its worldwide reputation for excellence, but also for the fact that we have kept our costs at a more affordable level than many of our competitors.
Now, according to an Open Doors report, the number of Indian students heading to the US for higher education recorded a robust jump of 29.4% to 132,000 in 2014-15, the academic year, beating China in terms of growth. Are there any efforts on to bring the cost down for students from outside the US, especially India?
Well, first let me say that we have a long history at Purdue University. There's nothing new about this. We've had we have more graduates here in India than in any country on earth except the United States. And 20% of our international students today are Indians. As I have mentioned, we have more Indian students than any other American university. And so we're very conscious about the cost. You know, there are a very few other American universities who have held tuition constant even a year or two, but in their cases it was usually just for domestic or in-state students. And at Purdue, we were very sensitive to the need to freeze tuition, not just for students from our own state, but for all students, including internationals.
Now, ranking is the next issue I want to talk to you about. With so many of them around, it could get really confusing for students and parents. Do you think rankings truly represent the value of the output? In this case, the kind of students graduating from a particular university.
This is an excellent question. It's very clear and increasingly criticized in the U.S. that many of these rankings that have been around are very unreliable, and that in many cases they're measuring the wrong thing. They're measuring inputs, not outputs, not the results. And so I have always encouraged parents everywhere to be a little careful about them. Now, rankings of a given discipline where experts in a field of science or engineering, for instance, are rating institutions that they know well, you can probably put more faith in those. And so Purdue Engineering is ranked in the top 1, 5, 10, depending which department, routinely. And I think those sorts of ratings probably have more credibility. Now, there are attempts lately to produce improved methodologies. And for instance, the Wall Street Journal recently devised its own, which along the lines of your question, looks much more at outcomes and much more at the results, how graduates do, what they learned. I'm happy to tell you that Purdue University tied with California, Berkeley as the fourth best public university in America in that ranking, so obviously I like that one.
Let me also ask you, when Indian students look for options in the US, how should they go about choosing a university over others?
Well, it's for every student and their family to decide what's most important, but I know at Purdue, when I visit with Indian parents and students, what they like in our university is our rigor. First of all, we are a tough school. It's hard to get a good grade. And therefore, when a student achieves one, the outside world, employers in particular, know that that student has really learned something. And I hope also that a school like ours offers a range of things around the curriculum, outside the classroom. One thing I love about our Indian students is they excel in the classroom, but they also take advantage of the host of other activities, musical, social, athletic, and so forth, that we have to offer. And then, of course, finally, was all that provided at a reasonable price? And does the school show a concern to make certain that that it's not unduly expensive to attend.
With that, we'll slip into a quick break, but don't go anywhere as there's a lot more coming up on the other side.